We often talk about adventures, and it seems that a lot of you are very eager to go out there and discover the exciting things that the world has to offer. And well, if you're an adventurer, you probably have a GoPro, or at least you travel with someone who has one. They are very practical cameras, and they're very easy to bring them on the road and set them up pretty much anywhere to capture the most exciting parts of any adventurous trip. However, some people out there have found some surprises while exploring with their cameras, and today we're going to be taking a look at 10 of the creepiest things caught on those GoPros. The people behind these videos were not aware that they would witness these shocking findings. Some of them even helped to solve mysteries that have been going on for years. Once you're done watching this video, you're gonna want to go out with a GoPro and see if you can catch some interesting and perhaps even creepy footage. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. The underwater car. When teenager Max Warenka went to explore Griffin Lake in Canada, he spotted a strange rectangular object while being on his paddleboard. After having a closer look, he realized it was a car. Everyone in the area thought it was a car that had not been removed after a terrible accident in 2009. However, when an officer came to the area for a picnic, he admitted that the car from 2009 had definitely been removed back then. The water was a bit murky, and it didn't allow the officer to spot the car, so Max went down and recorded everything with his GoPro. The car was finally removed, and soon enough they found out that the car belonged to Janet Ferris, a 70-year-old woman who went missing back in 1992. She disappeared on the way to her niece's wedding, and her family never heard back from her again. Surely it was relieving to the family to finally learn what had happened to this lady, even though they had already given up hope. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works. Number 9. Bigfoot in the forest. You can strap a GoPro on different parts of your body, but you can also strap it to your dog's body to sort of get a perspective from their point of view. I don't know about you and your pets, but a lot of people like to do that. Thanks to that, a guy in Oregon was able to find some rather shocking footage that a lot of people claim to be a sighting of Bigfoot. The guy and his dog went for their regular walk in the forest when they came across this strange figure that was standing like a human, but was very hairy and had the appearance of an ape. When the video went viral, a lot of people started to assume that it was most definitely Bigfoot. Others, however, questioned the authenticity of the clip due to the dog's reaction. The dog didn't seem shocked or scared at all. So, we can assume this dog is either very comfortable with Bigfoot around or the whole thing was set up. One thing is for sure, it's still pretty creepy. Number 8. Train spotting. YouTuber Brian Garcia and his friends were hanging out when they found themselves in an experience that brought them very close to their deaths. It all happened around the train tracks in a neighborhood that's very close to Los Angeles. Just like many teenagers out there, they thought it would be cool to explore a dark tunnel in which a lot of trains pass by. It all seemed good and safe, and it seemed like they were going to be able to make it to the other side of the tunnel without a problem. Unfortunately, when they least expected it, a train was coming their way. They had to run for their lives and get out of the tunnel before being smashed by the huge machine. Luckily, they did make it out alive, and they had a GoPro that recorded the whole thing. The footage is certainly better than any action movie out there. These are real people that were close to losing their lives. The good thing is that they did survive, and the video did not end in tragedy. Number 7. Exploring a haunted house. I'm not sure how many of you are into this, but if you like exploring haunted houses, make sure you bring a GoPro when you go in. Like this group of teenagers who decided to explore a haunted house and see what was inside. As soon as you see the footage, you can see that the house has a very disturbing look. I mean, what else can you expect from a haunted house, am I right? Now, the creepiest part about this footage comes from around the 5-minute 53-second mark. This is when we can see some sort of shadow lurking in the background. Is it a ghost? Is it the spirit of a previous resident? Well, it's hard to tell, but the movement in the shadows definitely implies that something supernatural is likely happening inside that house. Sometimes this kind of phenomena can't be spotted with our human eyes, and that's why it's always good to bring a camera along. Number 6. Underwater surprise. Next on this list we have a video so frightening that it even got a GoPro award. It was taken by Johan Polgeider as he went down to explore the ocean off the coast of South Africa. He was just minding his own business, exploring the unknown underwater world when all of a sudden a great white shark swam right in front of him. You can see in the video how scary this is, as the shark literally came out of nowhere. If you remember our videos on dangerous animals, as well as just common sense, you know by now that great white sharks are not to be messed with. Usually people who get footage of these massive beasts are prepared to come face to face with them, but you can see that Johan was not expecting to spot this dangerous animal so close to him. Number 5. Mysterious creatures. The next video doesn't even last 1 minute long. It's a simple bike ride. It looks like a regular ride around a village, actually. However, when he watched the footage a few times, he realized that it must have been some other animal that was able to climb and move as fast as what you see on this video. To me, it looks way too big to be a monkey, way too agile to be a dog. Any thoughts there? Number 4. Ziplining. There's nothing creepier than the idea of death, am I right? Especially when you're up in the clouds, in the middle of a malfunctioning ziplining ride. This is exactly what you can see on the GoPro, with the person stuck halfway through a ziplining ride due to a knot that kept him from moving forward. The person was trying hard to move forward until he finally gave up and detached himself from the line. Thanks to the GoPro camera, we can see just how scary it was to be hanging from up high. However, this person had a parachute that allowed him to go down to the ground without any major problem. I am sure these people will never forget this moment, and I'm sure many of us will now think it twice before we decide to go on a ride as sketchy as this one. Number 3. Abandoned Canadian house. And here's another story about a house. This one is an abandoned house in Canada that 2 YouTubers decide to explore. The person behind the camera says that he is not a believer of the paranormal, but he admits that he has encountered some eerie experiences from time to time, like the one on this video. When they entered the house, they started to experience all sorts of creepy feelings, but the scariest sight of them all was out of a door that kept moving and made a lot of cracking noises. When the guys finally decided to open the door, they found no one on the other side. Then their camera turns around and they get a glimpse of the stairs. They say the way they were feeling does not translate into what you can watch on the video. However, just by looking at that door and the way things are laying around, I can totally see that this is not a place I would ever like to visit for too long. When the guys finally got out of the house, they say that they felt like someone was following them. Good thing they brought a camera, because I'm sure some people might find this story hard to believe. Now it's time for today's best pick. When we use GoPros, we usually spend or waste hours of energy recording all sorts of things happening around us, practicing extreme sports, motorcycle rides, your dog's walks into the forest, and more. However, it only takes a few seconds to spot some of the creepiest things out there. These videos have been proof of that, but the picture I have for you today shows something quite disturbing. It looks like a very scary creature in the middle of nowhere. We already saw Bigfoot, a dog monkey, and some supernatural findings inside haunted houses, but what else is there? What's the story behind this photo? Well, let's find out with number 2. Biking in the mountains. When you go into the mountains, you gotta be ready to find all sorts of things. For that reason, the person behind this video decided to attach a GoPro to his little mountain bike, just in case he found something interesting along the way. Little did he know that he would encounter a very shocking sight halfway through his ride. After a few minutes of riding, we can see how the biker comes face to face with a very hairy creature that could easily knock him off the bike. In case things got worse, the person decided to jump off the bike, but he kept recording. As we look closely at the footage, we can tell that the animal in question is a yak, a bovid animal that lives in the mountainous areas of the Asian continent. Although they are known to be domesticated, they are still quite intimidating, especially if there is no human owner or any other experienced person nearby. It's obvious that the animal is quite strong. Who could that be? The guys tried to talk to the person, but this one did not reply. Rather than stay and find out, they decided to go out of the area and call it a night. I guess I would have done that too. This shows us that GoPro cameras are very practical for all sorts of adventures. Whether it's urban exploration or an ordinary bike ride, the use of a GoPro can reveal some pretty shocking footage when we least expect it. Have you ever recorded something creepy with your camera? Let us know in the comment section down below. With all that said and done, that's our video for today, folks, and I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.